4 sets later, and we have another new Law leader. Is it as broken as the very first one that came out though? Well, it depends who you ask. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. Mabi here, and today I'm going to be giving you my personal deck profile for the Trafalgar Law leader that came out in OP14. The whole game plan here is this is going to be a pure rushdown deck. You're going to be setting up a lot of weak units, 1 cost and 2 cost units. Then you're going to be using your leader ability to power them up in the mid game and late game. This is going to be an all or nothing deck. This is how I built it. Alright, so we're going to go over how each card works, and then I'm going to give you some strategy and of course some combos. However, if you just want the deck profile for anything we cover, link down below to my website, MabiTCG.com. There I'll be posting this deck and many others in image and text format. And of course, if you guys want to see the duels with the videos, I already have the deck here. I've already done a lot of duels. There's going to be a link in the comments to the full duels playlist so you guys can check them out. We have a lot of fun with these new leaders. And reminder, this is just my own personal deck profile. I'm recording this before OP14 is out. No net decking, whether it's good or bad. I believe a lot of the fun for TCGs is building your own decks, doing a lot of testing and experimenting with. So not trying to meta build. It's just a lot of, there's a lot of tournament list resources that will be online if you guys choose to do that. So let's get started with the leader. Okay, so Trafalgar Law here. So basically, let's get OP14, 5000 power slashing leader. Came out in the same set as Draco Mihawk. God dang it. Alright, so 7 Warlords, Supernovas, and Heart Pirates. The only relevant tag in this deck is going to be these Supernovas here. Its ability is activate main once per turn. Select 2 of your Supernova or Heart type characters. In this deck, it's only Supernovas. Swap the base power of these selected characters with each other during this turn. So basically how this is going to work is with your early game, you definitely want to go first. You have a very strong one dawn turn with the 8 cards you can play. You have 4 of these Hawkins to set up attacking. You have 4 of these Luffys for searching, and you have 4 more of these I have a plan cards for searching. So very strong early game. It's going to be nice to easily mulligan into some of that, hopefully. Then your next huge thing is, you have a decent 3 and 5 dawn, but it's all about your 7. As soon as you hit 7 and 9 dawn, that's when your game plan really kicks into gear. This Zoro rushes, and you can use your leader ability to swap into these lower units to attack. And then the turn after, an even stronger character, 2000 more power. You can use this to rush and also swap powers again to one of your lower cost characters. So that's how it pretty much works. If you guys are enjoying the video, make sure to like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. I upload daily duels and deck profiles for a lot of different TCGs. Alright, let's go over the game plan. Besides Law Leader, let's go over every single card. First of all, we have the Basil Hawkins from OP14. This costs 2000 power and has 1000 counter. When this is KO'd, you get to search the top 5 for any Supernova character with 2000 power or less. Then you get to play it active. Then the rest go to the bottom of your deck. This card is probably my favorite card of the deck. It is a very sleeper card. People who are not too familiar with the game might end up attacking into them and then really losing a lot of tempo, because the whole goal is, once again, you have a very strong early game. You play this on turn 1 or the Luffy or whatever, but you want to play this one. Then on your turn 2, let's say you have 3 dawn. I would say the best case scenario is you throw something like this Zoro out, which is just a 3000 rush character. Then you leave the Zoro. You don't want to rush with it. Not yet anyway. But basically you want to turn 2, you throw this out, you swap the power into the Hawkins, then you get 2 attacks, leader and your Basil Hawkins. Then on your opponent's turn, when they can finally attack, they have to decide whether or not they want to attack into the Basil Hawkins. If they do, they run the risk, and you let it die, of course, they run the risk of you just summoning another 2000 power character, which could be, besides the Basil, you can get these Luffy's in, which is searching, you get these Bartos, which is blocking, or you can get these Cavendishes, which is just on its own. If you play it on your opponent's turn, it's not that crazy, but it's 2000. And then you also have these other Bartos, which came out in OP14. So you have a lot of extra cards in order to summon with this, so your opponent might think twice of attacking it, and they might leave it there, and they might attack your leader instead. So basically that gives you just sort of free attack. So I think this card is extremely key. If you end up just getting one of these and the rest of them or whatever, I would 100% keep this. This is such a great card for the deck. Now we're going over to your other one cost characters. This is Luffy from OP14. And remember, every card in this deck is a Supernovas. You can build the deck any way you want, but I found out just being way more consistent with Supernovas just makes it so your leader ability can go off even more, especially because this is a pure rushdown deck, right? You don't want to have a lot of defenses. You want to go, go, and go. This is how I built it. So on play, top 5 Supernova other than Luffy, put it to your hand, the rest go to the bottom of the deck. Great searching card. Even though it has 0 damage, remember, even if you don't have the Basil, you can play Luffy, next turn play Zoro, and attack 5,000 into the opponents. And of course, they can attack Luffy if they want, but if they do that, they're not attacking your face, once again, which is pretty good. So Basil has potential to replace itself if it gets hits, if it takes damage and goes to the graveyard goes to the trash, or Luffy. On play, he gets a card back, and then if he attacks you in, it's okay, you got that card back, and you kind of redirected an attack. The second ability here is when this is attacking, give an opponent's characters negative 1,000 power during this turn. In this specific deck, it doesn't really matter if you give them negative 1,000. We don't have any sort of abilities that KO on attack or anything like that, or KO when a certain power threshold is there. This is pretty much here in order to stop huge blockers for like 6,000 blockers to 5,000s, or maybe you do need to tack into a character. This will help do that. You can play this by even attacking into nothing and lowering, or attacking into something where you're not going to be able to kill it, but then the power goes down by 1,000. Then you can use that, you know, and then use another character to attack into that thing, etc. So lots of ways to use the secondary ability. And the last of your one cost is going to be the more events here. I have a plan to take down one of the 4 Emperors. Cost 1 from OP14. Activate main for 1 Dawn. Look at the top 4. Straw Hats or Supernovas. Only Supernovas in this deck. Then you add it, and then the rest go to the bottom. So this is great because it can be anything. You can even get these low costs, etc. So if you have, you know, what you want to search for, these Basils, definitely Zoros, definitely Luffy's, and then Zoros here, and then these Laws. These are your best cards that you want to grab, especially going on turn 1. All right, time for Dawn 2. This is Barto. This is from OP01. Is a very, very old card here, but it works really well for the deck. 2, 2, and 1 with blocker. It has an ability with 2 Dawn attached on your opponent's turn. This character gains 3,000 power. Now, the first ability of blocker of being a 2K is extremely powerful. First of all, nice chump blocker. It can be played out with the Basil Hawkins, and of course, can be played out with this upcoming kid that we're going to be talking about. So this is good for getting it just in general. If you go second, and you don't have a Barto or Luffy or whatever, this is not a bad card to play. It's a blocker for potential turns, but you remember any character that you throw down can be swapped out. So if you have this Barto here, he doesn't do anything the whole game. You get this Law out, suddenly this is a 10,000 attacker. So this is a very great card. If you end up attacking a little early with it, and you put the 2 Dawn on it, at least this will be a 5,000 power, so your opponent can't swing into it with another one of the really low attackers. So it's a great card for the deck, so good. Now for Cavendish, this is from OP14 221. If this character has 5,000 power or more, this gains Rush. Now, usually when they say that, you would add Dawn to it, but with your leader ability, thank God, you can just do whatever. So even late game, right? Maybe you have 10 Dawn. You can throw out the Zoro for 7. Boom, you attack 8,000. You throw out the Cavendish. You swap powers, and then now he's now an 8,000 attacker. So pretty much he is a pseudo rush once you can give him the 5,000 power. And it doesn't have to be one of these late game ones. You can even throw out the, you know, the Zoro here, this Kid and Killer, etc. So this is a really nice card for the deck, of course. Now for some counters, 2K counters. Barto from OP14 222 with 2 Dawn attached. This character gains blocker. It's not the greatest. This is here just for more 2K sort of consistency. It could be, and also so you don't miss when summoning with the Basil Hawkins, and if you need to play it with the Captain Kid, that's completely fine. But it's just a really solid card for the deck, even though if you're not going to be attacking with it much. All right, time for Zoro, and this is the first of your character cards that you're going to be throwing out that you actually want to start swapping with your lower cost characters. This is from OP01 350, just has an 8 rush. So as usual, if you have the Dawn, you can throw out and just attack. If you have a lot of cards in your hand, you might want to attack with it ASAP in order to maybe protect it from an attack. But how I usually like to play this deck is I usually set up with Hawkins or Luffy, then hopefully I have the Zoro. I play the Zoro out, and I don't have him be attacked because I don't want to lose the value with him just yet. But basically, I switch out powers, and then I attack with these 2, then my leader. Then your opponent's like, well, I guess I have to attack one of these tiny ones, and then your Zoro's good to go. Because I kind of like to leave him here, because just in case you miss on a future character, if you miss on a future character like any one of these and you throw out more little guys, you always need a character on the board where you can swap powers with. So you definitely want to keep it up and ready, especially if you know like, oh crap, I don't have another 5,000 power plus character to play. You want to keep it up. All right, time for Luffy. This is a promo 006332. With 2 Dawn, on your turn, this character gains 2,000 power. This is primarily here just for a 2K. It can't be played with your Basil Hawkins, nor can it be played with your Captain Kid, but it's searchable by, well, not Luffy, but it's searchable by this thing. So it can be played very early, but very, very seldom you're not going to use this, right? All right, so Kid and Killer, EB01 450. This has an innate rush for 5,000. The second ability is when this card attacks, if your opponent has 2 or less life, this character gains 2,000 until the end of the turn. Now remember, it's 2,000 power till the end of the turn. So after you attack, he's arrested 7,000. However, just keep in mind that your leader ability says you swap the base power. So this is not base 2,000. You will always be a 5,000 if you swap character powers with this. So keep that in mind. But this is one of those cards where, almost like Zoro, you maybe want to keep up if you want your little tiny guys to do the attacking instead. And with this, you can slowly just build a board and then attack. Especially, I like to sometimes wait until they actually have the 2 life before I start attacking with this guy. So it's just really good. So good, just having a lot of these little tiny guys. Time for the Captain Kid from OP14. This is 451 with blocker 5,000. So in this deck, you have around 7 blockers. That's kind of cool. I mean, technically pseudo blockers with this too. All right, so on play, for leader Supernovas, which it is, play a red 2,000 power or less from your hand. In this deck, you can go Hawkins, really good. Luffy, really good. And then your secondaries is going to be Barto. If you want to get 2 blockers up in 1 turn, that's great. And a potential attacker. Cavendish is pretty good too. If you play these 2 together, this guy can actually attack ASAP if you only have these 2 on the field. This one throws it out. You get to attack. You get to attack with your leader. You get to throw us out. This guy comes out. You swap the powers from Captain Kid to this guy. Cavendish can attack, go right in, and then you can maybe protect him later if you want. But yeah, he can attack the same turn, which is really good. So lots of different cards to play with this. This is a really great card. All right, Luffy, STO1, 5,000 power, 6,000, 5 cost, 6,000 power, it's a brick. It has Rush with 2 Dawn attaching, 1 per turn, with 2 Dawn attached when attacking. Your opponent cannot activate a blocker. This is really good in general because it's a 6,000 power, which means it's another step up from just a 5,000. So if you are going first, you have characters, you are on 5 Dawn turn, you can throw out this Luffy, do an attack for 6,000, which is, your opponent has to use a little bit of resources more than, the basic 5,000 to attack and get rid of it. But more importantly, every power bump, these guys get the power bump. So Luffy can power up Luffy and you can attack for 6,000. Late game as well, if your character sets up lots of blockers with 2 Dawn attaching, you can just go straight for the face and end the game. Even better, you can do stuff like, if you have a Law setup or something, you can go in, attack with Law, 10,000 power, then you can swap over so the Luffy has 10,000 power. Of course, you need 2 Dawn, so maybe set it beforehand or have the Zoro out, right? So it's actually Dawn efficient if you, attack with Zoro, and then with the other, extra Dawn, you put 2 on him to swap out, and you do some more shenanigans. So his character is really good in that regard. This is good, man. Everything can be searched except for Luffy to Luffy. All right, now for Bonnie, this is the last of your 2Ks of the deck. It's from OP14 672. No abilities here. It's searchable by all your searching cards. Can't be played up anything. This is here just in case you just need another power bump for swapping out characters and you are okay with not having a lot of 2Ks in your hand, because remember, you don't have a ton of defense. You have the basics of basics, 10 2Ks, you have 7 blockers if you want to add 11 blockers for the pseudo blockers, but you're probably not going to be playing this for those pseudo blockers. You put this on the field and you can keep swapping out the 7,000 power for other stuff. So it's there if you need, if you miss a little bit and you need to still swap out huge power, this character can be there. All right, time for Zoro. This is great. Definitely want to run 4 in the deck from OP14. 7-8. It has an 8 rush for 8,000. Pretty good. When attacking, give a character a -1,000, your opponent's characters. So just like the Luffy, you can go ahead and attack even if you're not planning on killing anything. Make it lower blockers to a lower threshold. Maybe you have a Zoro and the Luffy on the board. You can lower things down by 2,000 total to attack into some characters to be a little annoying that way. But yeah, 8,000 rush. Give somebody else 8,000. Attack. Really good powers. All right. Time for the last card of the deck. This is Law from OP14, 9, 10,000, and Brick. This has 2 abilities for Rush for 10,000. Your best character to attack for 10,000. Boom, Luffy, Barto, anyone can rush in if they're already on the board for 10,000, etc. That's pretty good too. Then on your opponent's attack once per turn, so this is a defensive ability, you can trash 2 cards from your hand, can be any. In this deck, you definitely want to get rid of bricks in your hand. Select one of your characters. Swap the base power of the selected character with your leader. So anybody on the board can swap powers with leader. Best case scenario, it's going to be just this Law here, because you get rid of 2 cards. Even if you remove 2Ks from your hand, that's still 1,000 more benefits. But if you get rid of 2 bricks, you just get 9,000. You get 10,000. You get to swap it out. So it's extremely powerful defensive card, and a really good attacking card. This is like, oh god, it's so good. And then yeah, just all that swapping stuff. So that is how each card works. You can see the overall game plan here. So early game, like I said, you're going to be doing that. Mid game, keep attacking with your leader. Hopefully you can keep attacking with the Basil. Once again, if your opponent attacks into it, they're going to be gambling whether or not they want you to summon more stuff, which is really annoying. Then attack with others when they're safe-ish. That's what I said. You definitely want characters on the board that you want to keep alive in order to keep buffing up characters. But if you want to go all Hail Mary, keep attacking if you want. Then late game, nothing but attack face. Attack with your late game rushes, such as your Zoro and Law. Swap power to smaller units. That's all or nothing. The very specifics of the decks and how I built it is it's all Supernovas, 50. So typically, I wouldn't recommend doing pure archetypes unless your leader specifically wants you to do that. And even then, I wouldn't say, continue doing that. However, because this is a rush deck, you don't care about your other archetypes. Yeah, you can throw out a 10 cost Shanks, but you throw that on the board and you attack for 10,000 and that's it. If you consistently try to get this Law, you attack for 10,000, you could swap its power to something else and then attack something. So you get more benefits from just getting these sort of characters out here. So you have 8 searching cards, which is why I'm okay with having only 8 late game cards. So this is why we're doing that. Consistency for keys here. The key here is consistency, right? Your leader, you have 19 small characters that you want to swap with 26 big characters to swap character powers with. 1Ks, you have 19 1Ks. I would say the average is 18 to 22. In this deck, you have 10 2Ks. You want to run 8 to 12 usually. The bricks, character bricks, 17. This is very high. This is very high. Average is 10 to 16. And you usually, with this, you have like cards that help you draw whatever, draw sift. In this deck, the only draw sift you have, or it's going to be just trash stuff, is going to be this Law for late game. But I found myself not caring if you have a lot of bricks, because you want to play every single brick that you get. You want to play Zoro, you want to play all these, you want to play his ASAP. It's really good. Searching cards, 8 cards, that's great. Usually 4 to 8. 8's really good, especially when your whole deck is what you want. Then you have blocks. Why did I put... That's not... I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10... There's 11 here. So there's a little bit above average. Oh, yeah, that's why I put 1 there. I forgot to put the extra 1. So there you go. Events and stages 4. That's completely fine. It's just your searching here. So quick noteworthy. I think this leader is good. I think it's very easy to build with the OP14, because if you see here for red, you can search up Supernova. You can pretty much just, this is all the Supernova cards. Everything from here, most of it's just jumping right in here right away. It's very nice and easy to build. Future sets are going to add this, I'm going to add a ton of new support for this, because Supernova is very powerful. You got Straw Hat Supernovas, you got these Laws, you got so many different types of Supernovas. It's going to get a huge amount of support in the future for sure. I think this deck is pretty easy to pilot. Attack, rush. It's very easy to decide who do I want to switch powers with. It's very easy. The only thing is to know what to search for, which I talked about. You want these Hawkinses, and then you just want your 5, 7, and 9s. That's pretty much what you want. 5, 7, and 9s going first. And another thing you need to worry about is just holding back units. And of course, remember attack ordering. You usually want to attack with all your characters before your leader. In this deck, if you're going to be having a rush card, you want to attack with a rush character and then swap powers, and then you attack with one of your characters that were already on the board. So you have to do a little bit of different ordering, but it's not that hard. And I think this is a very fun, unique mechanic, just swapping out powers. Of course, that's what he does. So we're starting to see more cards that rest for benefits and restand itself. I think I forgot to trash that one. That was from the other deck. All right, so this has so much rush. There's 22 rush cards in this deck. And there's no defense besides the Trafalgar here. Besides the 10 2Ks, I'm not running the new counter events. There's a new counter event here. This one's not bad if you want to run this. If there's a character with 8,000 power or more on your, on your opponent's side, up to one of your characters or leaders gains 4,000 power. The trigger here is you get to play 2,000 power. This is not bad. If you want to run this, I recommend it. It's not bad. However, me personally, how I built this is I want character, and I want to be able to search for those characters. So that's why I put it on there. Rushing consistency, that's why I want this in here. And more character consistency if I'm going on. So that's pretty much it. All right, guys. So that is the Law deck that I made. Let me know what you guys think down below. In the future, after a lot more testing, I like to do this when the Japanese version comes out. I make my own deck. Then after weeks and weeks of testing, when it comes out in the English version, I'll see if I want to make any changes, especially with the new sets coming in, and then we'll fix it up there. So that is how I built it, how I wanted to play, etc. Thank you so much for being here. Make sure to like and sub, and down in the comments below is the sections for the duels. Once again, I have all these cards ready to go, printed out, and we have a lot of duels recorded. So thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.